Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day to start things off. The Intercontinental Exchange's backed platform has officially confirmed its forthcoming launch of a cash-settled Bitcoin futures contract in a news press release, or whatever was released, published on the 22nd of November. ICE, or ICE, the operator of 23 global exchanges, including the New York Stock Exchange, revealed that the contract will be listed on the ICE Futures Singapore as of the 9th of December. During the Invest NYC conference earlier this month, Bakkt COO Adam White had been the first to publicly reveal Bakkt had its sights on a cash-settled option. Today's announcement formally confirms the details leaked to the press by insider sources, air quotes, specifically that the contract will be cleared by ICE Clear Singapore and has sealed approval from the city's state de facto central bank and financial regulator, the Monetary Authority of Singapore. As ICE outlines, the new Bakkt Bitcoin cash-settled monthly futures will be settled against data from the existing physically delivered Bakkt monthly futures contracts, a pioneering product that was first to give its yada yada. ICE Singapore has published details on the contract specifications and proposed rule changes and invited parties to submit comments on these by the 29th of November. And of course, it says crypto Twitter divided. Not everyone is too thrilled with the idea of any more Bitcoin futures in any sort of way that are kind of popping up out there. What we had before in 2017 when the first Bitcoin futures were announced that they were going to be launching within the US by the CME and the CBOE. Bitcoin's price skyrocketed. Everyone was very excited because it was finally, if you will, a product that was derived from Bitcoin's price. It was something that brought Bitcoin directly into the traditional financial mainstream world. And then apparently people were betting against the price of Bitcoin on these futures contracts, and Bitcoin's price subsequently, or so the story goes, is that people were betting against the price of Bitcoin through the futures contracts, and then Bitcoin's price itself reacted to the betting against it and therefore sank down. This was bound to happen. You can't really stop it, if you will. It's going to manifest in other ways. A lot of institutions, companies, banks, stock exchanges are looking to get into the cryptocurrency world. A lot of investors are still uncertain about getting directly into Bitcoin, which is probably the most ironic part in the entire world, because they would do a lot better monetarily if they directly invested in Bitcoin, and the amount of Bitcoin out there continued to shrink, as we can tell by some of the numbers. Anyway, the point is, yes, this is going to happen. 9th of December, cash settled Bitcoin futures. It also, I'm not sure why history doesn't repeat, it rhymes, so the saying goes. This is also around nearing the same exact time in 2017 that we saw the first Bitcoin futures being settled in cash in the US. So, and I mean a large if we see a huge spike in price, it means that for some reason the launch of a futures in some sort of way has some type of a positive effect on the price of Bitcoin. But I guess we have, what is that, 7, 8, 9, 14, 17 days left to see how true this actually is. Here's the actual announcement right here. It says ICE Futures Singapore announces plans to launch Bakkt Bitcoin USD cash-settled futures. Exciting. Woo! Next up, more than 1.5 million Bitcoin, worth over 12 billion US dollars, could be permanently inaccessible and essentially removed from the currency's circulation. Recent analysis from Coinmetrics cites a variety of factors like rare unclaimed mining rewards, bugs, burns, and zombie coins that can effectively maroon Bitcoin in unclaimed cyberspace for good. According to the cryptocurrency supplies formula, active supply of Bitcoin by October 19th should have been 18 million Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin reached block 600,000, but the supply fell short. Even by block 600,002, the total supply was reportedly 150 Bitcoin short, which begs the question, where is all the lost Bitcoin going? So the people, Coinmetrics, have done their due diligence, if you kind of want to say that, and by their estimates, we've gone over this a couple of times before, but it seems like major companies are finally getting into the space a little bit more, because a lot of what we saw previously, it was usually me and like a couple of other people writing articles online, like how much Bitcoin this person lost and how much did so and so and so and how much actually wasn't there. So this is a different metric. They went by the amount of blocks that had never claimed rewards, this that was so and so and so, accounts that just simply haven't moved, and this and yada yada yada. And they estimate, or rather say, that around 1.5 million Bitcoin are just simply actually gone and lost forever. They will be completely inaccessible ever again. Thus the idea that if we have 18 million Bitcoin mined, air quote, we actually will only ever, air quote, have 16.5 million from this point right now, since 1.5 million Bitcoin are gone. And they don't even really go into the amount of, not celebrities, I don't even want to give them that title, people within the cryptocurrency space who we know have hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. That's usually the one that I'm usually always a bit more drawn to. It's the Winklevis, it's the Novogratzes, it's the people like that who have tens of hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin, and then also the companies who are also storing and locking them away. That is always a lot more interesting to me, but we know that based on this metric, 1.5 million Bitcoin is a lot. Not many people have $12 billion floating around in their bank account. Like, imagine you losing $12 billion. You'd be pretty gosh darn upset. Like, and especially in a world where the supply of Bitcoin gets cut in half, the amount created by the network gets cut in half every 4 years. In about 8 years from now, we're going to be like, wow, 1.5 million Bitcoin is lost and gone forever. And that's just the numbers that this company has kind of come up with. That doesn't even count the other people who we've spoken about before, who've lost 10, 20, 30, 40,000 Bitcoin on their computer, threw away old computers, lost private keys. I saw a couple of people before on Twitter, and bless their hearts, announcing, please always make sure that you know what a private key is. Please Google that right now, what a private key is. And how you can secure it, store it, save it, make sure that no one else gets to it, or that should something happen to your computer that you still have access to your coins. Because the last thing you want for Bitcoin to go up, you throw away your computer, it gets broken, flood, something, natural disaster, and then you don't have your money in the future. Anyway, here's the actual blog. I don't know what to call this, that they wrote. It says how many Bitcoin, no S, are permanently lost, and then goes into all the numbers, etc., etc. Let's continue. Next up, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or the MAS, the city's state de facto central bank, may soon allow cryptocurrency-based derivatives to be traded on regulated platforms. The MAS published a consultation paper on Wednesday, seeking to greenlight what it calls payment token derivatives for listing and trading on approved exchanges in the country under its Securities and Futures Act. The proposal comes as a response to demand from institutional investors for regulated products to be able to hedge their exposure to payment tokens such as Bitcoin and Ether. Singapore now has 4 approved exchanges. They are the Asia Pacific Exchange, the ICE Futures Singapore, which we just spoke about, Singapore Exchanges Derivatives Trading, and Singapore Exchanges Securities Trading Limited. Those names, according to the MAS, payment tokens such as Bitcoin and Ether are currently not categorized as an underlying asset or a derivative product under the oversight of the SFA. However, MAS said it has received a request to put such assets under its regulatory remit in order to be listed on approved venues. I am going to assume, while they are assuming or thinking that they're looking for a way to be able to possibly approve these things, whenever we get news like this, it's usually because things are already in the works. One would only assume if they have 4 exchanges that have been approved, and one of them is the ICE from the New York Stock Exchange, and they're talking about that these are the 4 approved exchanges, we can ascertain that they're probably going to allow this to go through, which would allow more money to enter the cryptocurrency space. It is nice to see, and this is how I feel, other countries finally realizing the potential monetary benefits of the cryptocurrency space and allowing other people, even though it's mainly for institutional investors and unregulated exchanges. Not to say that I'm for unregulated exchanges. The point being, this will allow more money to get into the cryptocurrency space. It seems to be countries with a little bit more money, that's how I'll say that, who are taking the charge and advancing towards the cryptocurrency space. This is why we saw Switzerland jump right to the front of the line as far as cryptocurrency adoption and allowing this and so in the laws. And yada, yada, yada. Anyway, this is, I assume a lot of this will have come to fruition by, let's say, April of next year. A lot of this stuff seems to be trying to launch either before the end of the year, and we've also gotten a number of, we're going to launch this before, or rather by the first quarter of 2020. I'm excited to see if it has any major impact on the price of crypto, which it logically should have if you saw my last video. However, things take time, and I'm trying to become a more patient person. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has said his institution is looking into the possibility of developing a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, in a 19th of November letter responding to questions from lawmakers. Representative Frank Hill and Representative Bill Foster. In late September, Powell said the Fed has noted the efforts of other nations to explore a central bank digital currency option, and that it continues to carefully analyze the costs and benefits of pursuing such an initiative in the U.S. In the letter to Powell, Hill and Foster had expressed concerns over the potential risks to the dollar if another nation or private company, you know exactly who they're talking about, what nation, what company, creates a widely used cryptocurrency, and asked whether the central bank is looking to pursue such an option. While the U.S. Central Bank is looking at whether a fully digital dollar would be beneficial to the U.S., Powell said the Fed is not entirely actively developing one. Further, a digital nation currency may not offer advantages to the U.S. that it may do to other nations. As an example, I'm not going to read all that. The point is, I feel in my own heart this is probably being tested in some sort of way. It's on its own blockchain, or whatever kind of chain they're going to be calling it in the next 2 years. They're definitely testing this. The fact that it is fairly certain that Bookface is going to be launching their coin, and other countries are actively talking about launching them very soon, that we're probably going to see a stablecoin race where countries are going to be like, I don't want to be left behind, so let's end up doing this. We've seen before from other members of banks who have announced that they are actively pursuing a world where payments are digital completely, because it allows them to keep track of where things are going. So one can only assume if other places do this and they are successful in doing so, that we will then see copies of what other places are doing. Try to say it as nice as possible, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's a little tweet right here. It says news, or new. Powell told Congress today that the Federal Reserve is exploring whether to make sense to issue its own digital currency that could be used by households and businesses. Households and businesses, just say people. Like what? Who else? What's the middle besides that? Anyway, right. Let's move on. Next up, the institutional asset custody arm of US-based crypto exchange Coinbase has announced it is transitioning to an internationally based staking service. It is rolling out its staking service to a global investor base. Coinbase Custody appears to be leveraging its brand recognition to promote staking as a key emergent investment strategy for the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. The announcement states that the custodian intends to offer all of its global clients appropriate access to crypto-first features such as staking. Coinbase Custody has been offering an institutional-grade staking service for Tezos as of March 2019, subject to jurisdictional eligibility requirements, with the company's flagship exchange rolling out the support for Tezos staking to U.S. customers earlier this month. It says, how does it work? Staking is specific to proof-of-stake blockchains and essentially allows network participants to passively earn a form of interest by depositing their tokens to both maintain the network and potentially earn rewards. As something over here as well, Ethereum is supposed to be transitioning to proof of stake in the coming weeks. The first drop of it should be I think the first week of December, and then we should get the other 50%, if you will, in January of next year. I'm very excited to see. I've seen a lot of analysts talking about or discussing why Ethereum hasn't moved yet. I think a lot of people don't understand what a movement from proof of work to proof of stake means for Ethereum. and how many people are expected to start buying as many coins as possible to be able to get a higher staking reward from holding Ether. Ethereum's issuance rate is also dropping as well. I think it went from 4 coins to 2 coins to I think 1 coin. I think it's currently 1 coin, and it's going to be 0.20 coins. So that is going to be fascinating to watch during 2020. I'm here for it. Tezos has actually gone up in price, as one might assume. I don't really know. I'm not a Coinbase donkey, a Coinbase fan. I don't know what to call it. So I don't know exactly which exact coins they have for custody staking on their platform, but Tezos itself has jumped in value. I think it's gone up by 10% because I think it's the widely most well-known staking coin for Coinbase. I'm interested to see exactly what other coins they end up doing. The fact that they have done this internationally only solidifies my idea. It's okay. We're going to enter into a very cool world very, very soon. I mean, the world's already kind of cool. Like our phones are made of plastic and metal, and they work with like sound waves and stuff through the air. The point being, we're going to enter a world relatively soon where, and I don't, this isn't a thumbs up for Coinbase. It's more like I think it's very cool that people will be able to simply buy digital assets and then make money from just holding them. It's going to be a very big thing as far as for passive income. I know a lot of people love passive income. And when it comes in the form of cryptocurrencies, that could potentially rise in value in the future, and you still make like 3, 4, 5% on it. That's kind of freaking cool. I think it has numbers down here. Does it have numbers down here? Yeah. As the Ethereum network gears up for the eventual transition to Proof of Stake 2.0 Ethereum, a senior consensus executive has recently revealed that Ethereum 2.0 validators can expect to earn anywhere from 4.6 to 10.3% as rewards for staking on an annual basis. That's huge. Anyway, I'm excited about this. Here's the actual tweet from Coinbase. It says, beginning today, Coinbase Custody is transitioning to an internationally based staking service. Let's move on. To kind of finish things off, I don't think I went through this already. It feels very deja vu-y. However, San Francisco-based cryptocurrency exchange Kraken announced that it is introducing a mobile version of its Kraken futures trading app. On the 21st of November, Kraken announced on his blog that it is launching a mobile version app of Kraken futures, which was created earlier this year after acquiring crypto facilities and was previously only available on a web browser. The app will be available on both iOS and Android. According to the website, Kraken Futures is a professional trading platform for derivatives on digital assets where traders can long and short, bet for and against assets with up to 50% leverage while offering seamless transfers between spot and futures trading markets. Cool. I'm pretty sure I didn't go over this. It's more like if this is something that you've been into, if something that you wanted to get into, a lot of people have been inquiring about futures, and I assume the curiosity is definitely there. Kraken now has an app for iOS and Android. If you are looking into trading futures, please do your own research and figure out what futures are before you start trading them. Just because if you do something 50x and you lose all your money, probably won't be too happy. Here's the actual blog post. Why don't I know what to call these? Blog. It says blog right here. Blog post. It says introducing the Kraken Futures crypto trading app. Yeah. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Morhair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Miloeasy, Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas Runner, The One Piece, One Love, Damien Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Krypton Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Keep Skipping That Leg Day. Yes, to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Sammy Buucha, Ting Tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, and Shoop Shoop, Diddy Wop, Hummer Hummer Wang Dang. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, the market looks like it is trying to do something. Bitcoin hit $7,000. I believe it was yesterday. It is currently at $7,200. Look at us making money. Other coins are down. Lumens is up. So is Cardano. Tezos is up by 12.79%. I assume this is the runoff from the Coinbase news. Chainlink is up. Maker's up. There's no real pattern as to why a lot of the coins are up and some of them are down, especially the ones that have actually made it into the news. The ones that have made it into the news or have been in the news the last couple of days are not going up. However, the other coins that have not made the headlines seem to be doing quite well. Or, I mean, a green is better than a red. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, or great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I hope you have tons of fun. I hope it's not snowing where you are. If it is snowing, call some friends over, have some pizza. Just do something fun. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your life. Don't worry about crypto too much. It'll all be okay, I promise. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.